Bears.
And Ravens and Eagles. Just going to throw it out there.
I mean, just everybody in general. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West. Do not adjust your YouTube viewing experience because I'm starting out talking in a video on Lights Out Trivia. And according to the title, it's supposed to be TMG Takes the Field. Isn't that supposed to be on TMG Entertainment? No. Who in their right mind would post anything on TMG Entertainment? Not me. That's for sure. That's right. TMG Takes the Field will now be on Lights Out Trivia moving forward. Game night with Papa, when that starts happening again, it's going to be on Lights Out Trivia. I can't talk about any other videos that happen on TMG Entertainment, but your two favorite shows that happen are going to be on Lights Out Trivia moving forward. But we do have a very special day tomorrow. It is Christmas for NFL fans. It is the NFL draft, as 32 young men will be first-round picks, 64 young men will be second and third-round picks, and then a whole lot more will be fourth to seven round picks, and one Mr. Irrelevant. Most of them will never do anything sufficient in the NFL, but this is their future. I have some gentlemen here to celebrate this great time with me. Obviously, we all know him. He's everyone's favorite starch. We have Tato. Tato, how's it going?
I'm doing swell. It's good to be here. Good to get back into the feel of the NFL things. This has been an incredibly short offseason as a Bears fan, as I've mentioned previously. I'm usually in mock draft mode in early December, so it was nice to not get there until January.
Absolutely. Incredible. Also joining us, did very well during the predictions. Both of y'all did, actually, so y'all know who I'm talking about. But he's third overall, so I have to introduce him third. Jeremy Potters. Jeremy, how's it going?
It's going great. I typically don't put a lot of stock in the drafts because, like you said, most of the guys are not going to do anything, and only 1% will have a successful career. But once again, the Ravens have a mid-round draft pick because we're not really ever good anymore, but we never totally suck. So we're going to get a middling guy, and he's going to do just fine.
Absolutely. And then best for last, everyone's favorite guy from Louisiana, Chris Perkins. Chris, how's it going?
It's going good. Hope everybody's having a good day. And the Saints will find a way to screw it up, just saying.
You know, I had that thought.
Everybody else's team does well.
I had that thought when y'all picked up Shuck last year. So I was like, there's no way Tyler Shuck is going to be a competent quarterback. He actually finished out the season relatively well. So,
he did
so
well.
We'll see. But yes,
of the year.
But yes, the offseason is quickly coming to an end as the final phase of offseason. The NFL draft is upon us. We did not do any sort of free agent recap or anything like that this year, so we'll see you next year on all of that stuff. But we do have the NFL draft. All four of us. I said I know I did. I don't know about any of these three. I put together a great round one mock draft. Have some exciting moves, some very smart moves, also some very dumb moves. Looking back at it, but we're going to kind of go pick by pick and see who we think is going to get picked in what position. And I guess award to whoever has the most accurate mock draft. We'll see. So we're going to go ahead and go with the first overall pick. Does currently belong to the Las Vegas Raiders. Most people will say the Raiders had the best offseason by any team. Even if they had one of the craziest moves in any NFL offseason that happened, and then very shortly afterwards didn't happen. I don't know how that works, but they still had an amazing offseason, and they're also picking number one overall. According to PFF, these are their needs. They need a quarterback, wide receiver, tackle, defensive line, and safety. So a lot of great options in this draft. I'm going to go ahead and start us off. I basically know. I would be very surprised if any of the four here have anything different. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback for Indiana, is not my pick. It's Carson Beck. Totally kidding. No, Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. Just to speed this along, does anybody have a different pick?
No.
Okay. It was pretty practically set in stone. So with that, let's go with the number 2 pick. This belongs to the New York Jets. According to PFF, their needs are quarterback, wide receiver, edge, and corner. And also, fun fact about the Jets, they're also picking number 16 in this draft as well. So two first-round picks, both in the first half of the first round. So we will see what that means for us. Tato, I'm going to have you start us off.
I have the Jets going David Bailey here. I think they go more instant impact than the higher ceiling of the Arvell Reese.
All right, and Jeremy.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't have linebacker listed as one of the needs, so that is exactly why I took linebacker Arvell Reese, because they're the Jets and they never do what they need to do.
Don't blame me for that. Blame PFF. And Chris.
I'm going to go David Bailey, Texas Tech. They need a pass rush, but damn, they could have went cornerback too.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's definitely a lot
that's worth the 2.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that the Jets can do. But again, we all know Fernando Mendoza is going 1, and we all have a thought that it is going to be either Arvell Reese or David Bailey getting picked number 2. For me, I am on the Texas Tech side. I believe it is going to be David Bailey being the second overall pick. Again, little bit more pro ready today. Doesn't have as high as the ceiling, but he still has a really tall ceiling. Not as many people are talking about him being a top-notch player in the future like he should be. But I definitely see the Jets going that way as well. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals are picking at number 3. Their needs are quarterback, tackle, defensive line, and linebacker. So, Jeremy, I'm going to have you start here.
Well, just because I don't think he's going to fall very far, and he's probably one of the best ready-to-go offensive choices in the draft, Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame.
All right, going with the running back. Chris, who's your pick?
All we need is Love. Jeremiah Love. He can catch, and he's a bruiser. So I'm going Jeremiah.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go next. This is my first trade. I believe that the Arizona Cardinals are in desperate need of a quarterback, but they can wait a year. I think the Cardinals are going to be one of the teams that are trying to stock up for next year. For some random guy with the last name of Manning, I think, supposed to be from a big football family. I've never heard of him before. But I believe that the Dallas Cowboys try to spark up some moves here. I believe that they trade the number 12 pick in this year's draft and then a first-round pick in next year's draft to the Arizona Cardinals. I have the Cowboys selecting who one of us thought was getting drafted in the round or in the pick before. I have Arvell Reese from Ohio State getting drafted here. Tato, what about you?
Yeah, I could definitely see some trade action happening here. I think the Arizona Cardinals will have a very busy phone line for those 8 minutes there. And I do think if a trade gets done, it is Arvell Reese, not Jordan Love. For the sake of sakes, I have the Cardinals staying pat and taking Arvell Reese.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot today too that they might move back at this pick, but they're also one of the first picks in the second round, and definitely would not be surprised if they move up with that pick into the first round to pick a quarterback in this round. There's some stuff that I've heard. So if that gives y'all any trade insights you'll want to do towards the end, you're welcome. Next, we're going to go with the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans, their needs are running back, center, guard, edge, and linebacker. So, Chris, I'm going to have you start this one off.
With the fourth pick, Sonny Styles from Ohio State.
Not a bad pick there. Again, for me, I'm next. The Titans have quite a bit of needs. And to be a fly on the wall in that war room, granted, all I'd have to do is show up and they'd be like, "You're definitely on our staff. Like you have the look. Get in here." So I don't have to be a fly. I can just be a papa. But definitely some needs on offense, some needs on defense, and to have pretty vocal people on both ends. At head coach, offensive coordinator. Very, very interesting. But the one thing that I keep leaning back on is when the Titans were at their A game, they had Eddie George and Steve McNair. Right now they have Cam Ward, but there's no way Tony Pollard or Spikes, whatever his first name, have any correlation to Eddie George. But Jeremiah Love definitely sounds great. So for me, this is where I have Jeremiah Love getting picked up. Tato.
Hey, I flip-flopped a lot on this one. For being a mock draft, that means nothing to the grand scheme of anything ultimately. I really sat and tanked on this one. I was flipping between the two picks that have already been made. I did ultimately lean Vrabel getting a linebacker in Sonny Styles.
And we're just going to look past the fact that you said Vrabel getting a linebacker. The Vikings pick number 31st. Jeremy.
In my brain.
So,
never mind.
Jeremy, finish this off here.
So, like you said, one of their needs is an edge rusher. So this is where I have David Bailey going out of Texas Tech. Like, again, a guy who's not going to fall far, if at all, out of the top 5, probably. So.
Oh, it is 2026. My bad.
It is.
Shit.
All right, so I got Jeremiah Love, Tato and Perkins both with Sonny Styles, and Jeremy with David Bailey. As we move on to pick number 5, the New York Giants. Their needs are wide receiver, guard, linebacker, and safety. So I'm going to start here, and I will say I had them picking a certain player. And then after news that broke last week, I had to change this pickup just a little bit. But there's somebody who has been named a couple times who I still have on my list that is a need, and that is linebacker Sonny Styles. I have him getting picked up here by the Giants. Go ahead and go, Tato.
I have Carnell Tate going here.
All right, and Jeremy.
I'm with you, Papa. I also have him taking Sonny Styles. Like, we're going to see New York full of a bunch of young, blocky dudes who just hit things. And I feel like he's definitely fitting the MO of what the Giants started to become last year. I think Harbaugh is going to lean into it this year. So,
yeah,
we'll see.
I'm about to say it's a very Ray Lewis-y move, too. Big vocal linebacker. Chris, finish us off. Who's your pick here?
Arvell Reese.
All right, I'm liking it. Now we go to pick number 6. This currently belongs to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns' needs are quarterback, wide receiver, guard, and tackle. And again, this is their first of 2 first-round picks. They also hold the number 24 pick. So, Tato, I'm going to go and have you start this one off.
Yeah, so you alluded to some news that broke earlier, and I think I might have that coming up here. So with that said, my whole offensive tackle flow sheet might be entirely fucked up, but I do have Francis Mauigoa here.
All right. And Jeremy, we will go and have you go next.
Yeah, I'm gonna just ditto Tato, like Francis Mauigoa, a name nobody in Cleveland can say.
Makes perfect sense. All right, Chris, I'll go and have you finish this, or not finish this one off. I'm finishing this one off. But who's your pick?
Spencer for now. Tackle Utah.
All right. Everyone getting offensive line. Wouldn't it be crazy if Papa screwed that up? Papa's going to kind of screw that up because I do not believe that the Cleveland Browns are picking in this one. I see. I'm not going to say a heist of the century because that happened last year with the Browns pick, but I do think that the Buffalo Bills make a splash here. I have them swapping first round picks this year, and then again, I think the Browns are going to try to get in that Arch Manning sweepstakes, get a first round pick next year, and a second round pick in next year's draft to try to add to a pot to make a possible move. So I have the Buffalo Bills getting this pick, and they need some help. We'll talk about their needs here in a little bit. But I think they made a good move picking up DJ Moore in this offseason. But I think they need another wide receiver. Tato had him getting picked up a little earlier, but I think Carnell Tate out of Ohio State is a great pickup here. Ohio State wide receivers just do great in the NFL, and Buffalo would make a great splash if they did this. As we move on to pick number 7, this belongs to the Washington Commanders. Commanders' needs are running back, wide receiver, defensive line, and safety. Jeremy, I'll go ahead and have you start this one off.
Excuse me. So this is the first one, like my first pick, where I'm like, maybe they just try something. Like this is one of those picks where they go, what were those guys doing? Like, why did they do it? I don't know why. They're the Commanders. Sometimes they don't do things the way their fan base would probably like them to do things. So I'm going to Keldrick Falk, edge rusher out of Auburn. Another big guy. And this draft is, especially the first round, is not going to be shy of edge rushers. And I feel like this is where they, after David Bailey goes, like they're just going to go like, okay, let's get one of these guys before they just all get swept up, because they very well may. Like this might be a position where you just see them go and then they start going because somebody wants one. So yeah, I'm just going out on a limb and saying Keldrick Falk.
Hey, nothing wrong with going out on a limb. I like it. Chris, I'll have you go next on this one.
I'm saying they're going to go the number 1 cornerback, Mansour Delaney.
All right. I will go ahead and go next on this one. I think they get one of the better defensive linemen in this draft. Definitely not the best by any means, but definitely someone to sure that lineup. I'm going to go with defensive lineman out of Miami, Reuben Bain Jr. And then Tato will have you finish this one out.
And from my Jeremiah Love slide ends here, I think Washington is ecstatic to find him falling to them at 7.
Definitely. Don't see him falling any below 5, but 7, if he's still there, I do not see a world where the Commanders pick him up. Obviously, Chris has his fingers crossed because I do believe he's going to start this one off. And I might just go ahead and write it down. But the Saints are picking number 8. According to PFF, their needs are wide receiver, defensive line, and linebacker. So, Chris, go ahead and tell me. Who's your pick here?
Carnell, wide receiver, Ohio State.
I like it. Having 2 Ohio State receivers, one on each side, I think that would be a very nice pickup.
We love Ohio State wide receivers. Michael Thomas, Olave.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go next on this one. And I'm going to go a little bit left field here because while secondary is not necessarily on their needs list, according to PFF, I think that they could use another honey badger on their team because back when Tyrann Mathieu was on there, that defense was electric. And so I am predicting here that Ohio State safety Caleb Downs gets picked up by the Saints. Tato, I'll have you go next.
We love
And
Ohio State.
Here is where I have Ruben Bain going, just after you.
All right, and Jeremy.
Yeah, I too have Ruben Bain going here. I think he'd be really good for a nice pep, young little monster on the edge down here in New Orleans.
Yeah, we kind of need one.
And again, I don't think the Saints can make a bad pick here. There's like 5 or 6 players they can pick up, and everyone will be like, yep, makes sense. Great pickup by the Saints. But next we go at number 9. No trades were made to get to this position. The Kansas City Chiefs are at number 9. According to PFF, their needs are wide receiver, edge, cornerback, and safety. And according to Papa's Fantasy Football, their needs are a quarterback with knees, at least for a couple weeks. But on this one, I think that they do go cornerback here. And the best cornerback I think is going to fall just a little bit. Mansour Delane. This is where he gets picked up. Tato.
I also have Mansour Delane here.
All right, and Jeremy.
I have them going offense. I think they feel like they probably lost some productivity and stuff, and it's time to get another streaky, fast dude to get out there and catch the balls. This is where I have Carnell Tate out of Ohio State.
All right, and Chris, finish this one out.
Okay, I have a trade.
Okay.
Dallas moves up to the 9 pick. Kansas City goes to 12. And I'm going to go with Francis Magua from Miami.
That's the offensive lineman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Lord knows, Mahomes' knees need protection.
I do.
All right. So Chris giving us his first trade in his draft. All right. Next we go number 10, and it was the Bengals last week, but the Bengals did make a trade with the New York Giants. They now have sexy Dexter Lawrence on their defensive line, and the Giants now have 2 picks in the top 10. Number 10. Jeremy, go ahead. Oh, yeah, I already said what their needs were. So obviously that's going to transfer over to this one also. So Jeremy, start us off.
I feel like they're just probably going to try to get some offense after taking defense with their first pick, like I have. I haven't taken Mekhi Lemon, a wide receiver out of USC.
Jeremy, I'm going to echo you 100%. They need some extra wide receiver help. Carnell Tate got picked up. I don't think they want to get him because with the fifth because there's some defensive options there that they like better. But I do have them getting Mekhi Lemon with this pick here. So, Chris, I skipped you, but that's because I struggle with this sometimes.
Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. He did have dinner with the general manager a couple of nights ago. So,
all right, and then Tato, go ahead and finish us off.
Yep, since I already have them covered on the offensive side, they get Caleb Downs here in my mock draft. And again, I think they're very geeked to see a guy that great at that number.
I will say that is who I kept hearing that they were going to go with 5. But again, I felt there were too many better options. But definitely if he stayed on the board at that pick, he was going to go. I was definitely going to write his name down if I didn't write it down with the Saints. So I get that one. Next we have at number 11, the Miami Dolphins. According to PFF, their needs are wide receiver, guard, safety, and corner. They are also picking number 30 in this draft. So Chris, go ahead and start us off.
I'm going to go Reuben Bain Jr. from Miami.
All right, I'm going to go next. Y'all have all said his name. Most of y'all have said it incorrectly. To be fair, I'm not going to say it correctly either. This is where I see Francis Mauigoa. So I'm gonna try it.
I believe it's Maui Nello for what it's worth.
Yeah. Played college in Miami. He's gonna play professionally in Miami. Tato, go ahead and tell us yours.
I have the Sun Devil Jordan Tyson going here.
You spend all that money on a quarterback, you better give him somebody to throw the ball to. All right, and Jeremy.
That live on YouTube or you just hang it?
So just because in my draft, he's fallen to this point, he's not going to keep falling forever and ever. I had the Dolphins taking Caleb Downs, the safety at Ohio State, because it's just an inevitability.
That's true. He does have to get picked at some point. All right, now we move on to the number 12 pick. This is the Dallas Cowboys pick. According to PFF, their needs are defensive line, linebacker, and cornerback. I'm going to go ahead and go first because y'all are going to have to follow me on this one. Of course, in my mock draft, the Dallas Cowboys have traded with the Cardinals. So this is the Cardinals pick. But like I was saying, I think the Cardinals are going to try to stock up on next year's draft picks. So I have the Cardinals trading back again to the Jets. I think the Jets pick up a third first-round pick this year. They give the Cardinals the number 33 pick, and then next year's first and second. But the Cardinals are also going to give them not only the number 12 pick, a second-round pick in this upcoming draft as well, to kind of give the Jets a little more want to do this trade. And I have the Jets picking Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. Tato, who's your pick?
I have the Cowboys still having this pick, and they take cornerback Jermod McCoy.
All right, and Jeremy.
Yeah, I also have the Cowboys taking a cornerback, but I haven't taken Mansour Delaney at LSU.
All right. And then, Chris, again, due to some trades that you predicted earlier, this is the Chiefs pick. So who's your pick here?
All right, Chiefs. Offensive tackle, Caden Proctor, Alabama. But I also believe the Jets could be in there with the trade too.
Yeah. All right. I think it'd be crazy. You see a team trade back, and then once it gets to that pick, they trade back again and are just constantly doing it. And the next thing you know, they have like 12 picks next year in next year's first round.
Shitload of picks this year.
Yeah. We've never seen it done. We need to see it done at some point, right? It has to.
Unlike the Saints that trade up and just give away everything.
Yeah. All right. Next, we are at the number 13 pick. This belongs to the Los Angeles Rams because this is the one pick in the first round that they're going to hold on to. According to their needs, wide receiver, tackle, and linebacker. Tato, I'm going to have you start this one off for us.
I think Mekhi Lemon goes here.
All right. And Jeremy.
Stafford's not getting any younger. You could use a little extra protection. So this is where I have Spencer Fano out of Utah, offensive tackle.
And Chris.
I have Mekhi Lemon out of USC, wide receiver.
All right. Well, Jeremy, you got to quit stealing my answers because I also have them picking Spencer Fano out of Utah to shore up that line just a little bit for them. As we move on to the number 14 pick, this belongs to the Ravens. Their needs are wide receiver, center, guard, and linebacker. So, Jeremy, since this is your team, and I think I'm doing it correctly right now, go ahead and tell us who the Ravens pick.
So we got a new defensive-minded coach, and we did get some good news about Matabuke this week, like possibly coming back to play this season, looking good. But also we need a new young guy in case it doesn't happen. So I got us taking Peter Woods, the big defensive tackle out of Clemson.
All right. Chris, give me your pick.
Akeem Mesador. I hope I'm saying his name right. Edge Miami.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go next here. I think it is a little too early to pick an interior lineman, but at the same time, I'm going to butcher this name so bad.
Just call him Vega.
Oliva Vega Iona, guard out of Penn State. He's too good to pass up, and he's my pick here. Tato, go ahead and finish this one off.
So I'm actually going to break the mold a little bit on this one. I think the Ravens are pretty smart drafters traditionally. I think they go BPA here despite it not being one of their needs. I think they get Spencer Fano. Ronnie Stanley is 87 years old.
You're not wrong, and it's never too soon to get some depth at tackle. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at pick number 15. Their needs are tight end, guard, edge, and linebacker. Although I'd probably put wide receiver on there also. Chris, I'll go ahead and have you start this one off. Who is the Buccaneers pick?
Alagave Ione, Penn State. Guard.
I like it. For me, I do think that there's one player who not only shores up your offensive line, but also shores up not necessarily your wide receiver room, but just the ability to block and the ability to catch. An amazing 40 time, And I really wish he could hold off and stay whenever the Eagles pick. But Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon, is going to get picked up here. Tato, who's yours?
I also have Kenyon Sadiq.
All right. And Jeremy, finish this one off.
I'm going completely out of left field just because I saw the name and I liked it. Jermod McCoy, cornerback out of Tennessee. He's also very good. Like I watched,
He's good.
saw some of his highlights there to see that he's a really good cover dude. So, yeah.
Some
Why
will
not?
say he's the best corner in this draft.
Mhm.
I won't say it, but some will. All right. Next, we have at number 16 is the New York Jets. Again, they picked number 2, so we've already gone over their needs. Their needs will obviously transfer over to this pick. I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. And what do you do when you trade your number 1 corner to the Indianapolis Colts? Well, you find a good corner who's available in this draft. I think Jermod McCoy stays 1 pick later than what Jeremy says, but the Jets pick him up in this in this pick. Tato.
I will take Vega Ione here. All right, Penn State.
All right, and Jeremy.
Well, like I feel like we still have the same pick. They're just not in the same spot because I have the Jets taking Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I had to cheat a little
Let's
bit
get
to
all
get
the
there.
Sun Devils in New York City. Let's just
Yes.
get all those guys in New York. It'll make for a good time.
I mean, they do have a quarterback who I don't know if he's in this draft. Definitely kind of the later picks, but they can get him. I don't even think he has to say he wants to be in the draft. They just draft him. Like Mr. Irrelevant this year is Baby Gronk. It's way too early, but all right, Chris, go ahead and finish this one off for us.
I'm going to go Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon.
All right. Next, we move on to pick number 17. This currently belongs to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions needs are tackle, defensive line, and linebacker. Tato, I have you up first this one.
The Detroit Lions here, I have selecting Monroe Freeling.
All right, and Jeremy.
Yep, ditto again with the Tato. Monroe Feeling out of Georgia.
And Chris.
I agree with Potters and Tato. Monroe Freeling, tackle Georgia.
Well, with that, we have our first one in this mock draft. Ladies and gentlemen, put money on it because Monroe Freeling has to be the pick here, right?
Yeah.
This has never backfired
Yes,
enough before. Don't look at Joey Porter Jr. getting picked up in the second round or by the Steelers instead of the Commanders that happened a couple of years ago. And every time me, Tato, and Jay had the same pick, it going horribly wrong the last 2 years. 4 is better. So I'm going to make a bet right now. Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle out of Georgia, going to the Lions. Put it on paper, everyone.
The Leon.
All right. Next, we have number 18, the Minnesota Vikings. Their needs are running back, cornerback, defensive line, and safety. Jeremy, I'm going to have you start this one off.
I have the Vikings shoring up one of those areas. I haven't taken Dylan Thieneman, the safety out of Oregon. Whichever
Thieneman.
way you say it.
I
that guy.
before he.
Thin Mints is what they're going to call him. So it
Thin
doesn't
Mints.
matter.
All right. All right, Chris, go ahead and give us your pick.
I agree with Potters. Dylan, would it be Thieman or Thyman? Safety, Oregon.
All right. I'm going to change it up just a little bit, and you'll see why. Tato, who's your pick?
Dylan Tiananmen Square.
There we go.
Well, it wouldn't be lights out trivia. TMG takes the field, however we want to call this, unless Papa has to screw it up. Because I think the Vikings really want Dylan Thieneman, but the Dallas Cowboys call him up and say, hey, we want to move up just a couple picks, not a lot of picks. The Cowboys are at 20. So I do think the Vikings trade with the Cowboys, get some mid-round picks to make it worth it. So I have the Cowboys picking here. I have them getting Caden Proctor, Alabama tackle. But I'm going to go ahead and jump to the 20th pick because according to my tracking, the Minnesota Vikings now have the 20th pick, who Dylan Thieneman is still available.
Ooh.
And so write it down. The Minnesota Vikings, it doesn't matter when they pick him, they are picking Dylan Thieneman. I think at 20, everyone else has at 18. So they're definitely picking him. But we're not. We're going to go ahead and jump back to the number 19 pick because there's no sense to jump all the way around. The Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers needs our wide receiver, tight end, center, and defensive line. So Chris, you've gotten to go first on just about every NFC South team, and the way I think the rotation goes, you get to go for this one. Who are the Panthers picking?
Blake Miller, offensive tackle, Clemson.
All right, I'm going to go next. Kind of an oddball pick, but I think they're trying to get some more weapons for Bryce Young. And wide receiver Casey Concepcion out of Texas A&M is right there for the taking for him. Tato, what about you?
I have them grabbing Caleb Lomu.
And Jeremy.
And this is where I have the Penn State guard. We'll just go Vega Ione. I don't know. That fella.
All right. Hey, reports said that he was lining up everywhere on the offensive line for teams. So he definitely doesn't have to be guard. He can be any position. Next, we have at number 20 is the Dallas Cowboys. Again, they did draft earlier, so obviously their needs are transferring over. I have them trading with Minnesota and Minnesota picking Dylan Thieneman. But everyone else, I believe, has the Cowboys picking here. So Tato.
So at this point, the Cowboys will acquire Keldrick Falk.
All right. And Jeremy.
Have the Cowboys taking Caleb Lomo, the other tackle out of Utah.
All right. And Chris.
I have the Chiefs trading up to take Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana.
So then, do you have the Cowboys having the 29th pick?
Let me see. Yes.
Okay. Going to go and write that down for me. All right. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 21, hosting the draft as well. Their needs are quarterback, running back, guard, and tackle. Tato, go ahead and start this one off.
Now, this is where things could get interesting if your name is Ty Simpson. I do not think the Steelers will go there. It actually had to make some adjustments on the fly in this situation, so
What is that?
I will have the Steelers grabbing Omar Cooper Jr.
All right. And Jeremy.
When I was doing this, I was gonna have them pick Omar Cooper Jr., but the thought of seeing a Hoosier in a Steelers uniform made me sick. So I did him even dirtier later, though. Don't worry about it. So here I have him taking KC Concepcion.
Okay. My first time, because the way I get the team needs is I just do PFF. I select every single team, and I just kind of go through and fake it. When I got to the Cowboys, I scrolled all the way down to the bottom of the list and gave them like an Illinois cornerback for their first pick, and then did the same thing for their second pick in the draft. So you're looking at all the grades, and everyone's like an A or a B, and then you have Dallas at a D. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get the making your team worse, making your rival worse. All right, Chris, who's your pick here?
Denzel Boston, wide receiver, Washington.
All right. Well, again, like Tato said, there might be a quarterback who a lot of people start talking about here. But I feel the Steelers are going to make everyone wait just a little bit longer. I have the Dolphins calling up Pittsburgh, making some moves to come up just a little bit, giving them the number 30 pick. I have the Dolphins drafting Avian Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson. That now brings us to the number 22 pick, which belongs to the Chargers. Chargers needs our wide receiver, guard, defensive line, and safety. So Jeremy, I'll have you go first on this one.
This is where I have Avian Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson. So that makes sense. You have a team draft move up to take him because you know he's
Yeah.
probably going to go next. So
Absolutely. And Chris.
Max Ian Brocker, offensive tackle, Arizona State.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go next on this one. Kind of one of the reasons why I made that move was because I knew the Chargers would be in need of some secondary help. But with that pick a little sooner, I do think that the Chargers kind of go defensive line here. I have them picking up Peter Woods out of Clemson with this one. And Tato.
I'm just resorting here. Should be in good order shortly. Said Cooper to the Steelers, right?
You said Cooper to the Steelers.
Alrighty, and we are on the Chargers now.
Yep, Chargers at 22.
Okay. Akeem Messidor.
All right. Next, we move on to pick number 23. That belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. Their needs are nothing. They're a complete team. But according to PFF, their needs are wide receiver, tackle, edge, and safety. I'm going to go ahead and go first on this one. I felt we could do a lot here, but we had luck drafting a cornerback out of Toledo, so I think let's double our luck and pick up a safety out of Toledo, and that is Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Tato, I'm gonna have you go next.
Yeah, that's a guy I like. Be cool. I don't think he falls in the Bears range unless they take him at 25. But I have the Eagles yoinking Caden Proctor.
All right, and Jeremy.
Once again, Papa, I'm right there with you. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, safety out of Toledo.
And Chris.
Jermod McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee.
All right.
Would you be
Next
okay
week-
with that, Papa?
What's that?
Would you be okay if you got him that late?
I would, yeah. Again, like I said, some people say he's the best cornerback, and it worked very well when we had a steal at cornerback both in the first round and then very soon after in the second round. I'd be perfectly okay with that. So next we have pick 24, the Cleveland Browns. Again, they did pick a little sooner, so their needs roll over here. Chris, I'm going to go ahead and have you start this one off.
All right. Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson.
All right, I'm going to go next. I have this is where Denzel Boston out of Washington gets picked up. Tato.
Yeah, my wide receiver train got thrown off a little there with Omar Cooper and the Jets actually earlier. But the Browns get KC Concepcion.
That was my other thought.
Not a bad thought at all. And Jeremy.
So first off, I just want to apologize to Omar Cooper Jr. I'm so sorry that I have you being drafted by the Browns, but if he's there, they're gonna take him, and I'm gonna be sad, but I also would like to be correct.
Cleveland's a lovely town.
If you like dumpster fire towns, yes. it
Well,
is
they got the
lovely.
Rock and Roll Hall of
I mean,
Fame.
he did spend
so-
time in Indiana, so he's prepared himself for a career in Cleveland.
Yes,
so
that is true.
He'll be okay.
All right. Next, we have pick number 25. This does belong to the Chicago Bears. Their needs are center, defensive line, and safety. Tato, start this one off for us.
Yeah, so obviously, maybe there's a magic world where they go up and get Caleb Downs or something like that. That'd be dope. But if they do stick at 25, which I do think happens in this situation, Peter Woods.
All right. And Jeremy.
Well, you can't have that one because the Ravens are taking Peter Woods. But you can have
Yeah.
Caden McDonald, a defensive tackle out of Ohio State. Would you be happy with that?
I would not be thrilled with TBH, honestly. I don't love taking a D tackle, but I mean, I just don't know if it's going to stack out to where they can get one of the left tackles. And I don't love the concept of needing a fucking left tackle. Our offensive line was perfect, and then fucking Trapillo's career got ruined and Dahlman retires. Fuck.
Yeah. All right, Chris, who's yours?
TJ Parker, edge, Clemson.
All right. Well, Tato, I'm going to ask you what your thoughts on this one are. In my mock draft, there's not a lot of absolute needs right now that are available. And I think Houston's going to call and say, hey, we want to move a couple spots up. We're going to give you a second round pick to sweeten the deal up. And I say that Houston makes the trade to move up from 28. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'd be good with that.
Sweet. So I have Houston picking here, and they pick up Caleb Lomu out of Utah. Number 26, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, their needs are guard, defensive line, linebacker, and safety. I'm going to start this one off because I have some shenanigans going on. Obviously, I had them trade with the Browns, so this is actually the Browns pick. And I do see the Browns picking. Everyone else has said his name, so I'll say his name now. Keldrick Falk, the edge out of Auburn. Falls a little bit, but falls to here. Tato, I'll have you go next.
Interesting. This, like I said, I had my wide receivers sliding down, but I don't know if they just slide all the way down this way. So maybe here comes. Yeah, we'll go Zion Young here. Why not?
All right. Next, we have Jeremy.
We're on the Bills, right? Yeah.
Yes. Bills at
This is
26.
this is where I have the other edge out of Miami, Akeem Messidor. Don't know if he's going to like the cold, but
Yeah.
All right. And Chris.
I have Malachi Lawrence, edge out of UCF.
All right. Next, we have at number 27, the San Francisco 49ers. Their needs are guard, tackle, edge, and safety, according to PFF, according to Papa's Fantasy Football. Their needs are just depth in general or a new training staff. Let's
Can
go
we
with
all
the new
say
training
what we
staff.
think about the 49ers?
No, this is a family show.
I didn't say anything.
He wants to play harmonica with them. That's what he wants to do.
Exactly. Corner on the cob.
All right, Jeremy, I'm going to have you start this one off.
so this is I have the Niners taking Caden Proctor, the tackle out of Alabama.
Proctor.
All right,
Close to
and
doctor
Chris.
is they're going to get.
Caleb Lemieux, offensive tackle, Utah.
All right. I have them picking Caden McDonald out of Ohio State. Again, just extra depth. In my opinion, best player available, at least on my end. And Tato.
Blake Miller.
That guy.
All right. Now at number 28, we do have the Houston Texans. Houston Texans needs are running back, center, guard, and defensive line. Chris, I'll have you start this one off.
Shit. Well, he's got to be drafted. Casey Concepcion.
He doesn't have to get drafted, but
No, but no.
all right. Next with me again, I have Chicago with this pick because they did trade with Houston a little earlier, and I have Chicago picking up Colton Hood, cornerback out of Tennessee. Tato, all of you go next.
So originally, I do think some shenanigans will happen here between 28 and 32, where Ty Simpson will come up, A Jets, A Browns will come back, maybe the Cardinals themselves, something to that effect coming back in here. I originally had it happening with the Texans, but with the way shit shook out just in this situation, the Texans will draft Caden McDonald here.
All right. And then Jeremy.
Yeah, so yeah, every year it seems like there's a dude who drops a lot for no reason whatsoever. And this is where I have that guy, Kenyon Sadiq, as a tight end. And Houston drafts pretty well over the last few years, and they've also gotten kind of lucky. And I feel like they're going to hit both of those this year.
All right. Next, we have number 29, the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, picking earlier. Chris did have the Chiefs trading with the Cowboys earlier, where he had the Chiefs going up to pick, was it Omar Cooper Jr.?
Yeah.
And the reason why I make that point is because I'm going to go first, and I have the Kansas City Chiefs staying put, but still picking up Omar Cooper Jr. Out of Indiana. So, Tato, I will go and have you go next.
I will have the Chiefs select Max Ihanator.
All right, and Jeremy.
I had the Chiefs taking the edge rusher Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M.
I got him at 60 in a mock draft for the Bears once, and I was just happier than I'm thinking shit. I also got the safety. That's let's see, AJ Halsey in that draft at If AJ Halsey and fucking that guy both end up as Bears, I'll be happier than a white on rice.
All right. And then, Chris, again, you've had some trades happening on this one. So at 29, you have the Cowboys picking. So close this one out for us.
Jermod McCoy, if I didn't pick it before.
Oh, hey, I have that guy on with the Cowboys too.
But I'm pretty sure we've all said his name, so I don't know if you did or not. I'm writing it down, but I'm not keeping that much track on anything.
Say his name and he appears.
I mean, he's bound to get picked, right? So if you put him on for every team, you're going to get one right. All right, next we have at number 30, the Miami Dolphins. Again, they had to pick a little bit earlier. Tato, I'll have you start this one off.
I have Colton Hood here.
All right, and Jeremy.
Well, what do the Dolphins do better than everybody except the Browns? They overvalue and overpay middling quarterbacks. So congratulations, Ty Simpson. Your life is over.
All right. Chris, I'll have you go next on this one.
Chris Johnson, cornerback, San Diego State.
All right. I'll go ahead and go next on this one. Jeremy, I do agree. I do believe this is where Ty Simpson gets picked up. However, I had the Dolphins trading with the Steelers. So I have the Steelers picking at number 30 here. So we found Aaron Rodgers' next backup. It worked well when the Packers did it with Jordan Love, right?
Sure.
It's bound to, right? All right. Now we have pick number 31. Tato really wanted Mike Vrabel to get his linebacker. Well, now Mike Vrabel is picking. His needs are tackle, defensive line, and maybe he gets that linebacker because linebacker is a need. Tate, I'll go ahead and have you start this one.
One need, though, you did not mention was wide receiver. And boy, is there a wide receiver tailor-made for the Patriots sitting left on my draft board. They get Denzel Boston.
I mean, they don't need a wide receiver. They just want to make some noise and be like the number one team interested in AJ Brown, but they don't need him. Jeremy, I'll go and have you go next.
Here I have Blake Miller, offensive tackle out of Clemson.
Whew.
All right, Chris.
Zion Young, edge out of Missouri.
All right, I will go and go next here. And Jeremy, you already said it. Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson. Will Campbell last year. I'm a die blocking for that man. Well, he got killed in the Super Bowl. So maybe Blake Miller survives a little bit longer. And then number 32, the final pick in this year's draft, currently belongs to the Seattle Seahawks. Their needs are running back, edge, and defensive back, both corner and safety. Jeremy, I'll have you start this one off.
Just so I can get another Hoosier in the first round, I'm gonna give him D'Angelo Pons, safety at IU, safety corner, whatever, DB.
All right, Chris.
Trade. Seahawks and get the number 34 pick and number 183 from the Cardinals, who get the 32 for Ty Simpson.
All right. I will go ahead and go next on this one. They did lose Tariq Woolen, big figure on that in that cornerback room. Whatever team picked him up, man, that's great pickup by that team. Phenomenal decision. So I do think that they get their replacement in Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. Tato, go ahead and finish this one up. The last pick in our mock draft.
Yeah, I think if the Seahawks were to stay here in this situation, I'd go Chase Visantes, guard out of Texas. But I will do a trade here. Call it the trying to think which one. I think it'll be Jets. I'd say Jets, Cardinals, Browns. One of them grabs Ty Simpson. I guess. Fuck it, we'll say the goddamn Jets. I think Ty Simpson gets picked in the end of round one.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the first ever mock draft, NFL mock draft, hosted on Lights Out Trivia. It's the end of an era, but it's also the beginning of an era, beginning of something beautiful, as one could say. But definitely throw in the chat who you think the number 4 pick is going to be, because we all kind of have that feeling of Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese, the David Bailey, and then the draft begins at 4. At least that's what we all think. So tell me who's your first pick, not one of those 3. And yeah, I'll read comments later. But thank you so much for watching. Make smart choices. Be nice to people. Or don't. I really don't care. Not your dad. But I could be your papa. Play the outro.